Welcome to picturesque Feel New Sydney, boasting magnificent Sydney Harbour, internationally renowned attractions, the world's best beaches, stunning World Heritage listed Blue Mountains, and a circuit that has previously hosted MotoGP international competition, Sydney Motorsport Park. Thanks to Destination New South Wales and the New South Wales Government, this weekend we have 3.93 kilometres of technical floodlit fury that will challenge Australia's best riders as round 2 of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championships presented by Motul gets underway with the only night round of the 2024 season. For this round's Ducati track preview, something completely different. Normally, we would go for a walk around the track. This time, we're going to unleash Steve Martin on the brand new Monster SP for a lap around the circuit. Chris, what should we be looking forward to here at Sydney Motorsport Park? A fantastic venue. Yeah, it's a fantastic track, great venue. It's iconic in the fact that it used to hold the 500 Grand Prix races back in the day. I think Steve Martin might have even lined up in one of them. But tonight we're racing under lights. We've had practice in the daytime, so that adds another element to it. So it'll be interesting to see what Steve thinks. Well, Steve, start your engines. Let's go.
Got a lot of memories with Ducati around this track, especially heading into this turn 1. It's super fast and you've got to be super accurate. Getting on the apex on the inside there, hard on the gas, and I'll tell you what, this Monster's not a race bike, but it certainly feels like one. Plenty of torque. Down in the modal corner, onto the brakes hard. You can see the lights on in the background. It's going to be dark later on, but it's not at the moment. Knee down on the ground. Use the torque of that bike out of that turn and into turn 3 here at Sydney Motorsport Park. It's blind through here. Then you go up the hill, another blind crest, and then down. Super important at the bottom of this one to get the brakes nice and tight. Keep that momentum through the corner and stay tight on the exit. I've seen people drift wide there. You don't want to do that. Then it's the run up the hill, and up the hill we go through Yamaha corner all the way out to the edge of the track. Another blind crest, and once again it's difficult to know when to get on the brakes. Watch for overtaking into this one. It's super critical. It's tight through here. Then up you go round the hill. This is one of my favourite parts of the track, the Yamaha Financial Services. You can see how blind it is as you head into there too. All the way around, keeping that throttle on. Twist the throttle to the stop before you can actually see where you're going, and then again hard on the brakes into the famous turn 9. Got to be careful you don't high side out of this one. See how tight it is. It is super tight. Up the short Michelin straight, tucked in behind the screen we go, and then into the fast flip flop. Through the gearbox we go, into the right hand corner here, and then it's a quick flick over to the left. You know you've got this right if you drift all the way out, and I'll tell you what, that feels super nice on this bike. Last corner, important to keep that roll speed up as we head out onto the main straight here at this Sydney Motorsport Park. And I tell you what, this is a track that I really enjoy, and I cannot wait to see the racing here tonight.
Well, Steve, how was that? How was that? And tell us about the Ducati. I mean, it's just come off the showroom floor. What was it like?
I can't believe how these things are nowadays. I mean, the amount of torque that this bike has, the amount of fun I had riding it, it's such a fun bike.
Yeah, you're the lucky one. We had to stand here and watch you.
But also too, Steve, this track is also a great track to come and ride your road bike on as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a great place to come for a ride. There's such a variation of corners here. You're always on the edge of the tyre. You need a bike that's got good grip and good feel. Luckily for me, the Monster's got that.
Well, been a fantastic Ducati track preview. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Let's get the racing underway. So Josh Newman will start out of pole position with Ryan Larkin in second and Valentino Nezovic in third. Mitch Simpson will start out of fourth. Harry Watts, last race victor at Phillip Island, out of position number 5, and Jesse Stroud on the second row of the grid in 6th position.
Calvin Moylan, Will Nassif and Ryder Gilbert, row 3. Row 4's Geordie Simpson, John Pelgrave and Oscar Lewis.
Row 5, Lincoln Knight, Oliver Short, who we saw on the warm-up right there, just having a look over his shoulder. I think he must have knew there was something going on. And William Hunt will all start out of position number, on row 5 in position number 16. Then it's Taylor Ralph, Alexander Cody and Abby Cameron on row 6.
Massive bunch of riders here. Matthew Ritter, Tom Nicholson, Mark Shaw's your row 7, 8, Nicholas Fandatis, Michael Cartwright, and Hayes Short out of 24th. Georgia Stevens on row 9.
Yeah, Georgia Stevens, one of the many race DNA machines out there. Jason Whitehead has done a great job to support so many riders in this category, and also now in the Supersport category as well, with Jacob Hatch and also Brandon Demery. So just a short delay here while that mess is cleaned up down there at turn 2, and hopefully we can see Taylor Ralph.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, Ralph.
Also,
I reckon
bike
that's
number 56, Oscar Lewis.
Yeah, I think Taylor Ralph's spot's just back there. Here she comes now to the grid. Just popped in to see her before. You can just still see a bit of debris hanging off the back of that bike. Looks like she's starting from the back of the grid.
So red flag leaves the front of the grid. We're ready to go racing for the Race and Road Supersport 300. Newman from pole position. Supersport 300 is go, and it looks like a great start there from the second row of the grid from Mitch Simpson on board bike number 66. Newman has gone back to second place, but I'm just thinking that maybe they might be looking at that start again for the officials, so we'll leave them to do that as Valentino Nezovic leads them down towards turn 1 for the first time. Larkin, big move up the inside on board bike number 68. Harry Watts has to change direction on board the Champions Ride Day machine, otherwise Ryan Larkin was going to get turned in on top of. And, well, Steve, the start is under investigation from Race Direction.
Yeah, funny about that. But Nezovic ran wide into that turn 1. Up the inside looks Ryan Larkin there trying to dive up the inside, but it's Josh Newman who's led the odd lap around this place on his Wet For You Kawasaki leading the way.
I reckon he probably led 90% of the race last night and then was pipped at the line by .040, still looking for his first race win in this Race and Road Supersport 300 category. He's been knocking on the door twice at Phillip Island at the last round. He was second to the wild card, Petr Svoboda, and then finished 4th in the last race. He leads the championship coming in here to Sydney Motorsport Park, and at the moment he's leading the race, but he's got Mitch Simpson on board bike number 66, who's taken the step back from Supersport last year, back onto the more familiar 300, and since he did that, Steve, he's been absolutely flying.
Jesse Stroud's in the mix up there too in that 5th position, so good start by him on the number 127 machine. Harrison Watts on the Kawasaki's dropped back a spot too.
So out onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start finish straight we come. Look at the slipstream now, clearly evident in this category as Ryan Larkin tries to use the slipstream of Valentino Nezovic. So we've got a Kawasaki leading from 3 Yamahas. Then we've got another Kawasaki in 5th position. Then we've got Harry Watts in 6th position on board the Champions Ride Days Kawasaki Ninja 400. Then we've got a few more Kawasaki's back outside the top 10, but Yamahas make up the majority of that top 10 as we complete the first lap.
Yeah, good job there by Josh Newman coming under pressure from Mitch Simpson into the braking area, but manages to hold it together. There is Jesse Stroud on screen at the moment.
Another rider to keep your eye on too is the rider back there in position number 10, Calvin Moylan. He is a rider with a lot of form in this category as well. And he's got a little bit of work to do. But when you talk about top 10 in this category, that's not too far back from the lead. We are only in the early
we've got a faller. We've got a faller there.
That's on the outside of turn 5.
Possibly Nezovic, I reckon.
No, Valentino was still there in 4th position.
Okay, sorry, not sure who.
So is it Jesse Stroud? There's no race DNA machine in there, so it might be Stroud on the exit of turn 5 that has gone down.
It's decent amount of runoff there, so let's hope that he's okay. There it is. That is...
that's Ryan Larkin.
Yeah, Ryan Larkin's gone down. Hopefully he can just... Looks like he's okay. He's going to pick that bike up. Josh Newman has a look over his shoulder to see what's going on, and there's not much respite, my friend. There's a few bikes behind you there.
Also, too, confirmation from race control. Multiple riders getting jump start penalties. Rider number 7, Oliver Short, and also Valentino Nezovic on board bike number 48.
Well, yeah, that's not good news for Nezovic because he's in 4th position at the moment and knocking on a podium. So he will grab some sort of penalty for that. Jesse Stroud in that 3rd position at the moment. Good job by him on the Kawasaki.
Well, what he's got to do now, Valentino, is just put his head down and try and get as far up the field as he can so that when that jump start penalty is applied, it does the least amount of damage. And he's doing a good job now to hang on to our top 4 as they make their way through Motul Corner.
Who do you think the angriest Race and Road Supersport 300 rider is right now?
Josh Newman.
No, it's not. It's actually Tara Morrison. If you think back to Phillip Island, she literally was right up there getting podiums and close to podiums all weekend.
And she did get second place in the final race.
She did, and she fell off last weekend and unfortunately broke a collarbone, so she's at home watching right now, and I'm sure she's not very happy about it.
Okay, in that case, Josh Newman is the second most angry because he has led more laps than anybody this year and still has not won a race.
Well, he's in the right position to do that now. He knows what he's got to do. He's just going to keep on putting in the hard work, and it will pay off.
He was in a similar position last night, though, and over the final laps, it was the rest of the field that managed to mow him down. It is the Race and Road machine of Stroud that is sitting back there in second position. Mitch Simpson still in third. And then it looks like, is that Geordie Simpson? Has had a cracking last couple of laps because he's come from about 8th position, 8th or 9th position, Steve, and he's now up into 5th. Trying to catch up on the lead as we have a look now at the Ducati replay of that incident on the warm-up lap. You can see the riders just slowing down, a whole lot of them slowing down there. Unfortunately, it was one rider that just got caught out, and then Taylor Ralph had nowhere to go when that rider crashed in front. There's a replay of the start.
Yeah.
Valentino Nezovic, a huge jump start.
He even shook his head, I reckon, there.
Well, but the thing is, he didn't back off. He just kept going.
Well,
exactly what you're going to do. You're going to get a penalty anyways. Doesn't matter if you back off.
Yep.
And he's now up into second position on the road, down into the hairpin at Honda. It is Nezovic that's made his way up into second position on board that Moto City entry. Oh, someone running very wide there. I think you'll find that was Will Nassif on board bike number 65. The next rider through after Harry Watts. You can see the Champions Ride Day machine of Watts has closed right up as well. Remember last year, Harry Watts and Josh Newman, Steve, they were teammates in the ESG team that was assaulting in the GP2 category of the FIM Mini GP here in Australia as well. So those two, both Kawasaki mounted, know each other very well.
Well, Josh Newman is doing a sensational job out there at the moment. 43.4 last time round, 0.6 quicker than the 4 or 5 guys behind him. The man who set his best lap of the race was Harrison Watts at 43.5, but Newman was quicker than that. So the quickest lap of the race, Josh Newman just is. He wants to make sure he wins this one.
Can I tell you, those two guys there on the yellow bikes, they know each other pretty well as well. The Simpson brothers from South Australia doing a great job now. They've just got the better of Valentino Nezovic. I think it was just Geordie that might have gone ahead of Mitch as they made their way down the straight. Geordie on board bike number 33, Mitch on bike number 66. Geordie is the younger of the three Simpsons, or the youngest of the three Simpson brothers, and the youngest of the two that are competing in this category. Of course, their older brother, Ollie, competes in the Michelin Supersport category and doing a great job this weekend as well. So we're well and truly into the second half of this race now, and Geordie pulls out of the slipstream and goes past the 127 machine of Jesse Stroud. In fact, I think both the Simpson boys have managed to go past. They've managed to do the double entendre and take both the Simpsons bikes, the yellow machines. They're hard to miss, up into second and third position.
Look at Stroud, up the inside.
He's a demon on the brakes. Can he hold the line? He does. That's a great move from Stroud.
Yeah, his sponsor is Fearless Motorcycles, and I'll tell you what, that was a fearless move.
That was pretty fearless, as he just said, no, you can overtake me on the straight, but I'm going to come back on the brakes into Motul Corner.
Yeah, good job for him there. But up the inside goes Geordie Simpson. Good move down the hill, and around the outside, not to be outdone, goes Mitch Simpson.
Well, he sets himself up for the inside move at the next corner, turn 5. That's the double move from turn 4 to turn 5. We spoke about it in the Superbike race with Crew Halliday, how good he was through there. And here's a Ducati replay of that manoeuvre there. The Simpsons got the better of Stroud on the straight, but Stroud, a demon on the brakes. As you said, fearless on the brakes down into towards that Motul Corner. But look how much it's brought Harry Watts and also Valentino Nezovic back into this equation.
Yeah, good ride by the young New Zealander there. And there's Nezovic up the inside there. Those, the two yellow bikes are, can you imagine that car trip home if something happens between those two guys? It's not going to be very friendly, is it?
Oh, I think there's a fair amount of ribbing and jibing going on, regardless of the results on track. And I've got to say, too, both of them have custom-painted helmets, courtesy of older brother Ollie.
Well, that's nice. Very nice to see. And they're pretty good-looking helmets, too.
I've got to say, 3 of the best custom-painted RX-7 Vs that you will see on those 3 riders. The donut version for Geordie is an absolute classic as Valentino Nesbitt uses the slipstream, and so does Stroud. Coming down the straight now, it is Stroud that goes into the lead of this group that are battling for second position because Josh Newman has pulled away at the front. I think, Steve, with a 1.7 second lead, that Josh Newman has decided now is the time. The second race at Sydney Motorsport Park is his time. He's trying desperately to take his first race win in the Race and Road Supersport 300 category, and he's left these 5 riders to dispute second position. At the moment, it is Jesse Stroud on board bike number 127 that is holding the cards as he makes his way down in towards turn 4. And then this very important change of direction as he comes out of Motorcycling Australia corner and then takes the run up the hill.
I tell you what, Mitch Simpson's so good through there compared to Jesse Stroud, isn't he? Like Jesse, he loses a lot of momentum on that change of direction. I don't know if it's because he doesn't know the track well or what it is, but 2 times now he's been passed in that same spot on the change of direction.
Harry Watts has also moved up in position as well as we see Newman come out and down into Honda on board the Wet For You Kawasaki Ninja 400.
Yeah, Newman's lap times are sensational. Another 44.1, 0.7 quicker than the group behind him. He's just cruising at the moment, doing a great job out there.
He also has the advantage of being able to ride by himself and not have to worry about getting sliced up on the inside like these riders in this 5-bike freight train do. As we see now, that's Mitch Simpson on board 66 that is holding down second position. There's another bike battle going on back in the pack, as we see all the time in the Supersport 300 category. Bike number 7, Oliver Short's got Tommy Nicholson right behind him on the Ords Motorcycles Ninja 400. Right behind Tom Nicholson is Taylor Ralph on board bike number 28 as well. Last lap board is out for Josh Newman. His lead is 1.7 seconds as he gets that last lap board. And it's fair to say, Steve, that I'm not going to predict who's going to come second until about 5 metres before the line on the final lap, because this one is going to be an absolute cracker between these 5.
The only thing we can confirm is it won't be Valentino Nesbitt because he's got a 10-second penalty after that sheepish jump start.
Well, even if he was up with Josh Newman, he still wouldn't be taking the race win. But the good news is that after this group, it is about 20-odd seconds back to 10th position. So Valentino Nesbitt, if he can stay in this group, should finish inside the top 10, then it won't be in second position where he's just made a massive lunge for at turn 5, and they make their way up the hill to Pirelli now, and it is Jesse Stroud that's back in the second position.
Yeah, good job by Jesse there on the Fearless Motorcycles machine. But it is this man. Look at Josh Newman. Look at the lead that he's got as he comes around down into Honda corner there, braking. But what a battle it is for that 2 podium spots in that bunch of guys there.
Well, we've come up the Michelin straight now for the final time for Josh Newman. He's only got a couple of corners to go, and then the run down the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish straight to take that first win. Jesse Stroud has got a massive amount of pressure because the Simpsons are queuing up behind. So is Valentino Nesbitt, so is Harry Watts. It is going to be a slipstreaming run down the straight to finish this race off. Stroud goes to the inside, the Simpsons go to the outside. Harry Watts has got the multiple advantage of being able to take any slipstream he can, but it is Josh Newman. He takes his first win, and he will celebrate. Mum Laura will be the lady doing cartwheels down there in the podium area, and I think Harry Watts got up to take the final place on the podium. Actually, no, that will be second place. Valentino Nesbitt crossed the line in second, apply a 10-second jump start penalty, and he will finish in 10th position. I think you'll find 9th or 10th position as this battle comes to the line. Taylor Ralph getting slipstreamed in the end by Ollie Short and Tommy Nicholson.
What a ride by Abby Cameron as well. She is finding some mojo in this class, up to 13th position. A personal best lap from her too. Great to see her right behind Taylor Ralph. So brilliant job by Abby Cameron.
And our winner, first time winner ever in 300 Championship, Josh, congratulations.
Thanks, mate.
How does it feel?
Oh, so awesome to finally get my first win.
And the bike? During the race, how did that all work out for you? You had a lead, you had a gap. Was it stressful?
Oh, the last lap was pretty stressful, but everything was working awesome. Big thanks to my mechanic, Luke. Got the bike working awesome, and I just did exactly what I needed to do.
That's so good to see. I love it. Congratulations and good luck in the next one.
Thanks, mate.
Well, there you go, Josh Newman. He's a man of few words. Chris managed to get a few words out of him there. I can tell you he was pretty excited, and I'm betting that he can't wait for the third race that's going to take place under lights tonight. Plenty more action coming up here from Sydney Motorsport Park. And welcome back to Sydney Motorsport Park. The lights are on and the action is about to heat up. It is so good to be back in Australia's largest city and under lights here at Sydney Motorsport Park for round 2 of the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championship presented by Motul. Well, the Blue Crew Junior Cup race number 3 is about to get underway, and Hunter Corney so far is 2 from 2. He will start from pole position in race number 3, ahead of Hunter Charlotte and Nicholas Lazos. Joining them on the front row of the grid, Connor Lewis, Ethan Johnson and Rossi McAdam make up row 2.
Elijah Andrew, Zane Beckinsale, Jed Lewis are on row 3. Row 4 is Phoenix O'Brien, Henry Hind and Ethan Pelgrave.
Augustus O'Halloran, Zach Russo and Adam Jordan round out the 15 bike field here. And what a great opportunity is to have 2 races under lights. Their first race took place last night, and a great race it was too, especially for the final races, podium positions. But we're ready to go racing now. Blue Crew Junior Cup. Blue Crew Junior Cup is go. Good start from the front row of the grid there. Looked like there was a bit of movement a little bit further back in the field, but we'll wait for race direction to sort that one out as our leading riders now make their way down to Sydney.com corner. And as they make their way through, the good news, Steve, is I think that everyone is going to make their way through there safely and then head off down towards Motor Corner Turn 2.
Yep, a little bit of a jump start there for sure. Not sure who it was, but we will find out. As you said, race direction, we'll have a good look at that. And around the outside goes Nicholas Lazos. That was a good move from the outside there. Couple riders go wide. You can do that on this circuit though, Phil. There's a couple of different lines, especially on these smaller bikes there. And looks like Connor Lewis is up there and Ethan Johnson as well. He sits 3rd overall in the standings at the moment, so he needs to ride well.
Down into the bottom of the hill at turn 4 we go for the first time. You picked it that Nicholas Lazos got a great start, and he's leading the race from Connor Lewis and Ethan Johnson. Ethan Johnson is another rider with a red helmet that's been up towards the front so far this weekend. Oh, massive wide line there from one of those riders off the other side of the ripple strip. Lucky there's Tari out there, Steve.
Absolutely. Hunter Corney's right where he needs to be in that 3rd position at the moment. Connor Lewis has moved up into that 2nd position as well. So, and Hunter Charlotte, who was challenging for the win, is up there in that top 5 at the moment.
Round from the back of Corporate Hill, we're coming down through Honda, down to the hairpin on this Sydney Motorsport Park Gardner layout, which is the traditional layout for the Sydney Motorsport Park venue. So many different layouts that they can use here now with the track extensions. There's 4 different configurations that they can run here. But we've already seen a small breakaway at the front. We'll get the length of that gap as they come round to complete the first lap, but it is Connor Lewis that's tried to do a Hunter Corney and get away at the front early on in this race. He has a bit look over the shoulder, and all that's done is allow the riders behind to utilise a bit of slipstream and try and catch up. Look at the slipstream in this category, Steve. It is so important, and there's plenty of places around this circuit as well where that slipstream can be utilised, but blasting through it is Corn on bike number 40 that's made his way towards the front. And he will tip into the lead as they go through Sydney.com corner. The first lap, a 2:09 from a standing start on a 150cc machine.
Yeah, I think that was definitely by Connor Lewis looking around at that point. Not the most aerodynamic thing to do. You need to keep aerodynamic here as it's side by side heading into the modal corner there. Tight left-hander, a couple of different lines, but it is Hunter Corney who's right up there at the moment and takes the lead, with Connor Lewis right behind him.
You know the best thing about this class, Steve, when you see the riders come back for the 2nd year and you see the massive improvement that they've had. We've seen the races so far only about half a second off the existing lap record from the extremely fast pace that we saw last year in this class. Nicholas Lazos last year was a 10th to 15th kind of guy. Now he's racing at the front and he's doing it quite regularly. There's that jump start that you can see back there in the field. Race direction will be busy trying to work out who that is on the Ducati replay.
Yeah, of course, that's rider. That's Henry Hind who did that jump start penalty there, and he'll get a 10-second penalty. Not an ideal way to start the race, and I think we can all agree that he did jump that start. Well, Lazos missed out on the podium in the 2nd race earlier today. Yeah, I think he was like 4th. So what that means is in the overall standings, he's 4th at the moment. So he really does need to try and get himself back onto the podium, having had a podium in the first race.
Yeah, he was only 0.1 behind second place on the podium in the first race that was held last night as well. So Nicholas Lazos having a pretty good weekend. He's also been mixing it up with a bit of FIM Mini GP on board the Avales as well, which is a great training tool.
Well, on top of that, he rides his motocross bike at Sydney Motorsport.
Well, that's another thing that's going to be holding him in good stead as well. As we know, plenty of motocross training. It's physically hard work, and it prepares you well for a night of racing. He's had a couple of birds sitting on the track there, getting a great close-up view as the field makes their way round through Honda and down towards the hairpin once again. It is back to seeing Connor Lewis in the front. Where has Hunter Corney gone? He's only dropped back to second position there. One of the riders that's utilising the black helmet, but certainly the red helmet of Connor Lewis is standing out at the front. Ethan Johnson also doing a good job there on board bike number 31. Sitting there quietly in 3rd position, if you can do anything quietly in this class, Steve.
Yeah, he's been having a really good weekend as Ethan Johnson, as the number 77, Connor Lewis, dives up the inside there, takes that tight line, and look at them, they dive to the inside of the track. I don't know what that's going to do for drive down the straight, but that group now is really tightened up. Keep an eye on the number 73 in the background there, Hunter Charlotte. We know he can get on the podium. And also 18, Elijah Andrew. That's going to be one big group now.
Well, as they made their way out onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish straight, it almost looked like the conga line at a Greek wedding as they made their way from side to side, all trying to get advantage of the slipstream as they go through Sydney.com corner. The man that has come out on top, no surprise there, it's bike number 40, Hunter Corney, who's once again managed to, he just always seems to find himself in the position where he's able to get to the front.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's certainly a talented rider. He's up against the odds there, isn't he? It's like 7 into 1 doesn't go, but in this case, he makes it work. So the thing is, though, you've got to be tactical in these races because you can't lead out of the final corner and expect to win the race because someone's going to slipstream you to the line. So you'll see a lot of the guys and girls out there start to look over their shoulders to see, you know, where everyone's at, who they're worried about, where they're going to place themselves, especially as we start to head into the last couple of laps of this race.
Well, the fastest man on the last lap was the fastest lap of the race, a 1:59.824 for Rossi McAdam. The lap record for this class is a 1:58.507 for Archie Schmidt, set at the corresponding meeting last year on the 25th of March. So Archie Schmidt, lap record not in any danger at the moment of being broken here this weekend, but the racing is... Oh, we got one down. Can't quite see who that is. It's bike number 77, Connor Lewis. The red helmet appears from the other side of his Blue Crew Oceania Junior Cup R15. Can they get the bike up and going again?
Well, he's only just thought about it now. Let's. He probably, if he'd have picked it up, I mean, it looks like he's completely fine. He might not have lost too many spots. He would have been 8th or 9th because there's a little bit of a gap. There's a 15-second gap. Look, he's saying, let me go, let me go. A nice little gap as they finish this one off and head into the final lap of the race.
Yeah, good to see Elijah Andrew having a good race in this one. He's been doing a lot of training with Coach Romeo Armone as well, so good to see the man that probably doesn't live too far away from this circuit. He is from Western Sydney, Elijah Andrew. He's got the wild hair. He's nicknamed Sideshow Bob, Steve. And if you see his hair, for very good reason, as they make their way through Dunlop now. You can see that bike number 11 there, that's Nicholas Lazos is just trying to get the utilisation of the slipstream on this very long straight. And it's long on most of the superbikes, but how long is it going to be on a Yamaha R15?
A lot of time to think, as they head down. And as we look, there goes Ethan Johnson up into that second place. Hunter Corney takes the final lap.
No, there was someone celebrating a little bit early.
There's a mistake there. He thinks that he's won.
Yeah, this is the final lap now, and I think it's that Hunter Corney that thinks he's won. They're all slowing down, are they, or not? Yep, there's a couple of them slowing down, a couple of them aren't, Steve.
There you go.
That's a fatal mistake, mistake there.
Hunter Corney will never do that again.
No, that was the last lap board that was out, not the checkered flag.
Is he going again yet or not?
Well, I don't know, but it's at the moment, you'll find that the rider's got his head down. He knows it's not the last lap, and that is Nicholas Lazos, and also bike number 16, Rossi McAdam.
Oh, and Ethan Johnson tries to nip up the outside there, can't quite do it.
Let's see how long it's taken Hunter Corney to realise his mistake.
I think he's out of the equation now, though, isn't he?
Well, he's out of the equation for the race win, but what can he do to try and maximise his points? He's back to 5th position.
Oh, he's back on the group.
He's back on the group. Well, this will be the greatest comeback since John Howard if he can get back up there and take the race win.
He could do it. He could do this.
Well, he's going to have the slipstream as they go to Tech 5 now, as they come out of Michelin and go along the back straight. He's got Honda to plan that now as he comes down into the hairpin.
Up the inside, that's a tight entry. He can't
That's on the inside of Hunter Charlotte, he's gone. Right, this is where it's all going to have to start for Hunter Corney now.
Well, he's in the right position, really. If he can get a good drive and get a slipstream with all of those bikes in front of him, he's actually doing okay.
It's McAdam that leads them as they come up to the final corners for the last time. This is the last lap, Hunter Corney. Now is where you need to time your run to the... Oh, big push and shove there. Ethan Johnson's got put out wide. He's going to get a little bit of drive hindered there as he comes onto the straight. Corney's on the back of this group, Steve, but I think you'll find that Rossi McAdam is still leading them. The slipstream is being utilised. Nicholas Lazos trying to use it as well on board bike number 11. Pulling out of the slipstream is 73. Hunter Charlotte, can he get there? I think Charlotte's going to take the win. It is so close. You'll need a photo to sort that one out.
Corney makes a comeback and gets third. What a win by Hunter Charlotte. Rossi McAdam in second.
But there is the confirmation of your results. 0.017 of a second. The winning margin for Hunter Charlotte, his first win of the weekend. Rossi McAdam, a podium in second position, and Hunter Corney, the great recovery to come back from 5th position on that last lap to take the final podium position in 3rd. Nicholas Lazos in 4th, Johnson in 5th, Andrew in 6th place, Beckendale in 7th, Louis in 8th, O'Halloran in 9th, and O'Brien rounds out the top 10.
Yeah, good ride there by O'Brien. Ethan Pelgrave in 11th. 12th is Henry Hind. Zach Russo down in that 13th. Adam Jordan in 14th, and 15th in the last point. Connor Lewis after that off.
For more information on everything that is happening in magnificent Phil News Sydney, simply go to sydney.com. From picturesque Sydney Harbour, the stunning surf beaches, to the World Heritage listed Blue Mountains, Sydney has it all to offer. And of course, thanks to Destination New South Wales and the New South Wales Government for making sure that as Sydney-siders get to see world-class motorcycle racing action here at Sydney Motorsport Park. Well, there's plenty of action coming up, and one of the great things about the Supersport 300 category is the diversity of the riders that are out there. We've got a lot of females competing in this category, and earlier, Steve Martin, you caught up with one of those ladies all the way from Western Australia, Abby Cameron.
We're here with Abby Cameron. I've got to say, Abby, it's good to see you in the paddock. Now, firstly, you are the person in the paddock that travels the most. I mean, you come from Western Australia every round. How do you do that?
Oh God, I have no idea, because Dad does most of driving. Like coming from Perth this round, it took us 4 days. We left Monday midday, and we got here yesterday.
Started in the 150s, and you've moved your way up into the R3s now. How do you find this class? I mean, it's your second year in the class.
Oh, it's still as challenging as it was in the first year. I'm still trying to learn all the tracks again, and I'm just trying as much as I can to get new PBs, mess around with the boys, actually yeah.
Now, I know you do travel around a lot with your dad, and you've given the boys hell, that is for sure, but I just can't help but notice the number 88 on your leathers and your bike. Any significance for that?
My dad races as well, and his race number was 89. So I thought the closest thing was 88, so I thought, I'll just go that one. It's pretty big.
All right, well, let's hope that you change 88 to the number 1 very soon.
He's been second more times than he cares to remember, but he will start this one, the 3rd and final race for Race and Road Supersport 300 from pole position. Ryan Larkin will start out of position number 2, and Valentino Nezovic, probably a little bit more subdued on the start of this one, out of position number 3.
Yeah, for sure. Mitch Simpson, Harrison Watts and Jesse Stroud from New Zealand, row 2. Row 3's Calvin Moylan, Will Nassif and Ryder Gilbert.
Row 4, Geordie Simpson, who was well and truly in that mix. John Pelgrave, another graduate from the OJC as well, and Oscar Lewis on board bike number 56. Lincoln Knight, Oliver Short and William Hunt will start on row 5.
Taylor Ralph, let's hope that she gets around this warm-up lap okay this time. Alexander Cody and Abby Cameron out of 18th on row 6. Row 7's Ritter, Nicholson and Shaw. 8 is Yafandis, Cartwright and Short, and Georgia Stevens is on the final row in the 25th position. Massive field.
Yeah, one of the many, many race DNA machines, Georgia Stevens, across the Supersport 300 and Supersport fields here this weekend. And a great job from Jason from Race DNA to support so many riders. And there is your front row. And if the first two races are anything to go by, this is going to be an absolute cracker, Steve, with Newman on pole position, Larkin and Nezovic joining him on that front row of the grid. A lot of hard charges back on row 2 and 3 as well. One of those is of course, Geordie Simpson on board bike number 33 on row 4. Keep your eye out for the two yellow bikes, the Simpson brothers. Supersport 300 is go. Great start from Nezovic, and I think that one was quite clean, along with Ryan Larkin. And pulling back into a 4th position, they make their way through Sydney.com corner, is our pole man, Josh Newman. Harry Watts also got a great start on board the Champions Ride Day machines as well. So team manager Brendan Clark will be extremely happy with that one as the field makes its way down towards Motor Corner Turn 2 for the first time. Around the outside is that Geordie Simpson. Outrageous.
Yeah, it certainly is. Just see there, he had to pick the bike up. Mitch Simpson got a good start too up there in 4th position. Valentino Nezovic, let's hope that he got a clean start this time, because he did put himself in a great position at the start there. Leads, but up the inside goes Josh Newman, taking that lead again. He's had one win in his career so far. I bet you he wants to try and make it more than that.
Yeah, he's gone from 4th place as they went through Sydney.com corner, back into the lead now as they get to turn 5 and go up the hill at Yamaha. Track looking like it's in pretty good condition there over the back. The straight that they're pushing on in this first lap is a fair indication of that as well. So we've got the man from southwest Sydney down at Camden Park, or the Douglas Park area, leading. And we've also got a man from Wollongong in 2nd position in Valentino Nezovic. Then you've got the Simpsons well and truly in there as well. Geordie Simpson, remember, has come from the 4th row of the grid to be up there in, 8th position. So he's dropped back a couple of positions from what he was as they made their way through turn 2 on the first occasion. Look at that little gap that's already started to develop between Newman in position number 1 and Nezovic, but sitting back there in 2nd.
Yeah, those two guys are really pushing on out front. They're not scared of that small little drizzle we had, but big moment there between those two riders. That was Nicholas Yafandis. Just getting touched on the back there. How tight is that down the straight?
How did Jesse Stroud actually make his way through there? That was threading through the eye of a needle, but the way he managed to get past Simpson and also not hit the bike that was next to him as they made their way down the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish straight, as Nezovic's made a bid for the lead and will lead them through Motor Corner, just a fair shutting the door in the face of Josh Newman.
Yeah, that was a tight move right there, but he made it work. Newman was lucky that he was able to pull the brakes on a bit tighter, because if he hadn't been able to do that, it wouldn't have worked out well for maybe one of them or maybe both of them.
And I think Larkin has had a pretty good run down there as well. But the man on a real charge is Jesse Stroud on board bike number 127. As we mentioned earlier today, turned up here without a lot of spare parts, because he was supposed to be getting a lot of spare parts from Tara Morrison, who unfortunately broke a collarbone last weekend and is not here this weekend.
No, he's actually on Tara Morrison's bike.
Well, there you go.
Her spare bike. So, yeah, he's doing a pretty good job out there. They managed to get that bike to him. And obviously Tara not here. She's at home because, unfortunately, in preparation for this weekend, she was racing at Tailem Bend in South Australia, had a small off and broke a collarbone. So she's probably watching at the moment, I would say.
I think he must have borrowed some fairings then from Race DNA, because I think he might have had a couple of crashes this weekend. Once again, Jason from Race DNA doing a good job to support a lot of riders, as Newman sits back there in 2nd position, just behind the Race DNA fed machine now of Stroud. That's Mitch Simpson on board bike number 66 with that lead group. Younger brother Geordie back with that 2nd pack there that includes Harrison Watts, John Pelgrave as well on board bike number 43. There's your lead group though. Newman back into the lead. Not a surprise, he's led probably the most laps out of anyone over the first 5 races of the season so far. Of course, 3 races at Phillip Island, 3 races here this weekend. And we're now into the final race of the weekend for the Race and Road Supersport 300 category.
He's definitely not having it easy this time out, though, is he? If you remember race 2 earlier on today, he basically had a 2-second lead by this point of the race. He's having to really fight for it now, and there's a bunch of guys that are competitive with him.
I just got to say, too, that the changes in the rules for this year that Motorcycling Australia have done have made this racing far more competitive for the riders on the Ninja 400s. We saw them go very well at Phillip Island. This weekend, we've seen them going extremely well here as well. The Yamaha R3s certainly aren't muscling about like they have done in previous seasons, and we're seeing some great racing here. A good mix of Yamahas and Kawasaki's in this lead group. In fact, now we've got, is that Will Nassif on board a Yamaha R6 that is actually leading on board bike number 65. Nezovic on board, sorry, an R3, not an R6. That would certainly dominate. Nezovic on another R3 in second position. Then you've got Stroud, Watson, Newman on board Ninja 400s. Then you've got the Simpson brothers, both R3 mounted as well. So four R3s, 3 Ninja 400s in that lead group of 7.
Yeah, it's almost a perfect mix as they head into the Sydney.com corner again. Just over halfway through this race, and you can see everybody's just jostling for position now as they head into this. How tight is this? 4 wide.
Hang on, make that lead group of 7 now a lead group of about 10.
Absolutely.
Because I think Calvin Moylan, the last rider on the back of that group on the race DNA machine, that's another Ninja 400, is in 10th position. And the gap from our race leader back to Moylan as they came across the start-finish line, Steve, 1.8 seconds. As a bid for the lead there for Josh Newman, couldn't quite get up the inside of Stroud, who's gone back in front.
I can't get over how good Will Nassif's going in this race. He's almost come from nowhere. Up there in the podium position at the moment. We haven't really talked about him too much this weekend, but he's doing a really, really good job out there. 13th in the championship overall he sits at the moment, so obviously didn't have such a great Phillip Island, but he's doing a good job here. Growing in confidence every time he gets on that bike. But it is that man out front on the 127 machine, Jesse Stroud on the Kawasaki, that leads into the Honda corner here.
So up through Michelin we go. We're on lap 5 of the 8-lap prescribed journey. And a little bit of a gap back to those riders in 11th and 12th position, Oliver Short and Taylor Ralph. They'd love to be involved in this battle as well. But unfortunately, we've got a 10 by... Oh, big move there from Nezovic up the inside of... is that Geordie Simpson on board bike number 33, who's got the better of older brother Mitch. Out onto the My Bike Motorcycle Insurance start-finish we go. Here we go. We're back to the conga line, Steve. The conga line that we saw in race number 2 earlier today.
And Josh Newman's got a little bit of clear air for the first time in a little while. Well, at least he's got a bike length of air, so it's good to see him out the front there. But I don't think he's going to have too long to be worried about that, because they all go past him on the inside. Up the inside, Stroud goes again. Good move by Jesse Stroud.
It's still a very tightly packed lead group of 10 now out of Motul Corner. Just having a look there, I think is that Valentino Nezovic trying to go around the outside of Josh Newman as they make their way across the top. Oh, a bit of elbow rubbing there, and they're 5 abreast as they go through turn 4.
Unbelievable.
Outrageous. This is outrageous Supersport 300 racing, and thank you very much to Race and Road for getting behind the championship in 2024. The racing so far, Steve, has just been completely outrageous. That's why we love this category.
Oh, absolutely. These guys are going hammer and tong. Guys and girls, I'll say. Taylor Elf out there, as is Abby Cameron as well. And let's not forget Georgia Stevens. So we've got a good mix. It's good to see the girls in this group of riders as well. That small drizzle looks like it's getting slightly heavier, but it's not affecting the guys. We talked about maybe they might go for wet weather tyres. They're all on slicks at the moment. Of course, these slicks providing very good grip in these conditions.
So Nezovic leads up through Michelin. We're coming round to complete 7 laps and get the last lap board.
Yeah, Nezovic will have...
coming around to complete 6 laps, so we'll do another lap before we get the last lap board. Out onto the straight we come through Yamaha. And just looking at it, Steve, not a lot of slipstream advantage being taken on the early part of the straight. They're trying to wind up a bit of steam. Stroud is the first one to make a move, going past Nezovic. He goes one side, Will Nassif goes the other side. Up the inside as well. Was that Ryan Larkin on board bike number 48, or was it Calvin?
Larkin's at the back of that group, so it's going to be Moyle.
No, it's Calvin Moylan on board the race DNA machine, threading the Ivan Noodle once again, straight through the middle of Simpson and Josh Newman to go up into 3rd position. He was 10th. a lap and a half, 2 laps ago, and he's now up into the top 3 positions.
Yeah, good move by him there. He's put himself in the right spot at the right time. Next time round will be the last lap. Josh Newman knows that. He knows how important it is to keep himself in that top 3 at the moment.
But at turn 4, it will be Will Nassif making a big move down the inside as well. Around the outside, Valentino Nezovic, obviously he's not worried about the current conditions because he's feeling very, very confident on board that Moto City entry. Is that Stroud back down into the lead now?
Stroud's leading again. He stuffs it up the inside there through the Alpine Stars left-hander.
Can you work out how many position changes we just saw in the space of 3 corners?
No one can. There you go, Josh, 120. No, that is the point situation. 120 points for Josh Newman if it stays like this. Harrison Watts, 104 on the number 14 Kawasaki. There he is in the middle of that group.
I don't think 120 manoeuvres would indicate how many overtaking manoeuvres there's been in this race as Will Nassif goes back to the lead. Well, around the outside, but then it turned onto the inside as they changed direction for Josh Newman. Moylan comes up the inside of Jesse Stroud. So does Simpson as well. Not sure which Simpson that is because there's 2 of them involved in the battle.
That's Geordie Simpson on the inside there.
And I think that might also be Geordie Simpson is in the battle, but where is Mitch Simpson? He looks like he's just dropped off the back of that group a little bit.
Yeah, he has dropped off.
He's not in the shot there as they make their way down through Sydney.com corner, turn 1.
Well, Jesse Stroud, who led onto the final lap, finds himself at the back of the pack now.
And also you can see how far it was that Mitch Simpson has actually dropped off the back.
Wide. Is that Nezovic that goes wide too?
He goes wide midway through the corner.
Yeah, he lost the spot, though.
Gets a very narrow exit on turn 2, but it's not helping when someone just carves you straight up the inside, and that is the nature of this category, as we're now on the final lap, Steve. And he's that Moylan having a big look down the inside, couldn't quite get the job done, as Stroud tries to go around the outside, but he's very, very wide. He's not going to have to drive up the hill now. I think Simpson's going to probably take advantage of that as they get up towards the back of the hill at turn 6. But it is Nezovic that's making a bid for the lead. Down the inside goes Newman on Moylan.
Yeah, Newman's got the inside line there, so it looks like he's made the pass. Good move there by Newman as they head down the hill. He's putting himself in the position for that slipstream. It's Nezovic who leads. Up the inside goes the 127. Oh, that wasn't, he just pushed too hard right there.
So Stroud has taken out Newman. Newman needs to get over and get his bike and get going again, not worrying about what Stroud's doing because Valentino Nezovic is going to take the win and they're all going to call back a lot of points on the championship leader who is stricken at the hairpin at turn 8. As through Dunlop we come now for the final time. It is Nezovic that's going to lead them onto the straight. Is that a good position? Will Nassif is going to be able to get advantage of the slipstream here, and so is Calvin Moylan. And in a perfect position is Geordie Simpson on board bike number 33. Simpson already goes past Moylan. He's making a bid for that last place on the podium because Nezovic's going to hang on. He hangs on, Steve, and takes a win. That could very well be his first win in the category as well. So congratulations to Valentino Nezovic on the Motor City entry who takes the win. Did Josh Newman get his bike going again and score any points? That is the big question. Is not in doubt though is Valentino Nezovic has taken the race win by 0.178 of a second over Will Nassif. One of his best results in the championship as well. Calvin Moylan takes another podium in 3rd with Geordie Simpson in 4th, Harry Watts in 5th, Pelgrave in 6th, Larkin in 7th. That's Mitch Simpson in 8th, Ollie Short in 9th position, and Taylor Ralph gets a top 10.
Yeah, good job there by Taylor Ralph. Lincoln Knight in 11th, Matthew Ritter in 12th, Nicholas Fandis in 13th, Tom Nicholson 14th, 15th is Abby Cameron, William Hunt, Ryder Gilbert there in 17th, Josh Newman did pick the bike up and finished 18th, Jesse Stroud 19th, Alexander Cody, Mitchell Cartwright, Mark Shaw, Oscar Lewis down there in 23rd, Georgia Stevens picked up a spot too, Hayes Short, good to see her out there too.
Oh, look at the championship points. Josh Newman and Harry Watts, the teammates last year in the ESG team in Mini GP, are now tied at the top of the Race and Road Supersport 300 Championship on 106 points each. Valentino Nezovic has moved up into 3rd on 97, Mitch Simpson in 4th on 92, Geordie Simpson in 5th on 83, Larkin in 6th, Calvin Moylan in 7th, Pelgrave in 8th, Zavoda in 9th, and Nassif rounds out the top 10, down to Kriya Chris, and good luck with those guys. Too much excitement.
I need the luck. There is so much excitement here, and it's fantastic to see. First ever podium, Calvin Moylan. Congratulations, what a race.
Yeah, thank you, man. Really appreciate it. I worked really hard for this back home. Me and my coach, Sam Clark, just been going at it together, cycling, all that. Also, just want to say a big thanks to all my sponsors who get over here. Hydrodramatics, rattle them all off, don't have enough time, but RS36 and Pierre Bricklaying, just really appreciate it. I wouldn't be here without you guys, and thank you.
Massive congratulations. Well done. And our second place man, Will Nassif. What a race, guys. It's got to be the race of the night so far. Congratulations. You look wrapped.
Oh, I had no idea it was last lap, and then when I saw the checkered flag and I was in second, I was shouting so loud. I've completely lost my voice from the start finish to here. I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless.
Well, you've done a podium now, so are we going to see wins from now on?
Oh, that's the plan.
Great to see, great to see. Congratulations, Will Nassif. That's your second place, man. And the winner, Valentino Nezovic. That was a fantastic race. Did you see the action that was going on behind you in that last lap? There were some crashes. It was everything going on.
Mate, I couldn't see it, but I could for sure hear it. It was loud. It was hard racing.
And did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I enjoyed every single bit of it, you know. I was sitting in fifth and I thought, gee, I better make my way up the front quick because I knew the laps were counting down. And also the rain was dropping, so I need to make sure I got up the front real quick.
Well, you did a fantastic job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations to Valentino. A great race win there, and I'm sure there's going to be more to come. Now, the next round, Steve, we haven't got long to wait. 26th to the 28th of April at Queensland Raceway. That is going to be absolutely fantastic. Last year, the racing there was sensational. I expect nothing less than we had there in 1 month's time. Of course, the next round of ProMX is at Horsham on the 7th of April. Not too long to wait for that one either. And then we head off to Gilman after that one in South Australia. But the best news is that with only 4 weeks or so to go, there's not long to wait until we head to Queensland. Your final thoughts on what has been a great round here at Sydney Motorsport Park?
Well, this round never disappoints, does it? It's given us everything. A lot of upset victories and a lot of upset losses. But dry, wet, we've had everything here tonight. We've had daylight, we've had dark. Absolutely loved coming here, Phil. It's just a brilliant place to be.
It certainly is, and a massive thank you once again to Destination New South Wales and the New South Wales government for their support to bring this event to the people of Sydney, making sure they get world-class motorcycle racing action here in Sydney. That's all from us here at Sydney Motorsport Park. We'll see you in Queensland Raceway up next on the ASBK calendar.